Throughout the history of humanity, we have been trying to find ways to lengthen our lives. While some people continue searching for the fountain of youth, advancements and medical breakthroughs have helped improve modern man's life expectancy. Join us in this Liber-Tea episode as we highlight some of the greatest medical breakthroughs in history. Throughout our existence, disease inspires fascination and fear in equal measure. However, due to medical breakthroughs, we get closer to understanding the mysteries of medicine and diseases. These breakthroughs have helped scientists to come up with treatments and medicines that have helped to save millions of lives across the globe. The following is a chronological list of leading medical advancements in history. It isn't easy to establish exactly when vaccines became acceptable. However, after Dr. Edward Jenner attempted to cure the infamous smallpox pandemic using inoculations, the popularity of vaccines shot up tremendously across the world. In the 19th century and early 20th centuries, several vaccines were developed to treat some of the deadliest diseases, including cholera, rabies, tuberculosis, and smallpox. In the course of 200 years, vaccines were used to wipe off diseases like smallpox from the face of the earth. This medical technology was revolutionized further by mRNA, which provides the healthcare sector with endless possibilities. This technology is hailed for its high effectiveness, capacity to reduce vaccine production costs, and potential for rapid development of vaccines. The effectiveness of this technology was witnessed during the COVID-19 pandemic, when it was utilized to develop two distinct mRNA vaccines, which were approved shortly after their production. Before the discovery of general anesthesia in the mid-19th century, surgery was conducted as a last resort. Unsurprisingly, many patients opted to die rather than live through the ordeal. Although historical records show that people had been experimenting with anesthesia as early as 4000 BCE, in 1846, William G.T. Morton made history as the first person to use ether as anesthesia successfully. Shortly after this, doctors began using chloroform before leaving it due to fatalities. Since the 1800s, doctors and scientists have developed a wide range of safe anesthesia, which helps surgeons conduct painless surgeries worldwide, saving millions of people. Before 1861, it was believed that spontaneous generation was the main cause of disease. In short, doctors believed that diseases appeared from nowhere rather than being transmitted from one person to the other or being transferred through skin-to-skin contact. Louis Pasteur, a French microbiologist in 1861, demonstrated to the scientific community through a simple experiment that infectious diseases were caused by an invasion of microscopic organisms called pathogens. This discovery revolutionized prophylactic measures like hand hygiene in healthcare organizations globally. Additionally, it helped prevent devastating pandemics that had claimed millions of lives across the ages, such as typhoid fever, the plague, and dysentery. Medical imagery is undoubtedly one of the greatest breakthroughs in medicine. The first time X-rays were utilized for medical purposes was in 1895. Wilhelm Conrad Röntgen, a German physicist, accidentally discovered the X-ray machine as he experimented with electrical currents. This discovery was an instant hit in the field of medicine. Within a year after the discovery, the first radiology department was set up by Glasgow Hospital. Medical practitioners began to use ultrasound for medical purposes in 1955. Surprisingly, it had been in use long before doctors started utilizing it. In 1973, Paul Lauterbur made the first magnetic resonance image, or MRI, which creates incredibly detailed images of the body. This machine detects life-threatening conditions, including cysts, tumors, damage to the spinal cord and brain, and some liver and heart problems. In 1954, Dr. David Hume and Dr. Joseph Murray conducted the first successful kidney transplant. While there were many attempts in the past, this was the first operation where the organ recipient survived. The breakthrough in organ transplant happened when scientists overcame some technical issues. These issues included placement of the organ, the patient's immune system, and the connection between two blood vessels, vascular anastomosis. The first lung transplant was conducted in 1963, followed by a pancreas transplant in 1966 and a heart and liver transplant in 1967. Apart from saving many lives, transplant procedures have developed into complex and innovative scientific endeavors over the decades. For instance, in 2010, doctors completed a successful full-face transplant. Currently, doctors and scientists are working on how to conduct a successful head transplant for terminally ill patients. Across the ages, terrible viruses such as influenza, smallpox, and hepatitis have plagued humanity. Unlike the success of antibiotics in the 1930s and 1940s, antivirals did not display their potential until the 1960s. Difficulties regarding antivirals were related to the structure of the virus. According to scientists, the structure of a virus is a core of genetic material surrounded by a protective coat of protein and reproduces inside an individual cell. Since the information of a virus is highly protected, it is extremely hard to treat them without causing harm to the host cell. Over the years, scientists have improved antiviral tremendously to a point where they can stimulate a person's immune system to attack a virus. This development has helped control some infamous viral diseases, including Ebola, HIV, AIDS, and rabies. Thanks to medical advancements today, while diabetes is a serious condition, it is relatively well controlled. Scientific research into the matter has provided us with concrete evidence that lifestyle changes can help reduce the symptoms of diabetes. The development of insulin injections, for example, has played a critical role in controlling the effects of the disease. In 1922, researchers at the University of Toronto began utilizing insulin as a treatment for diabetes. Before this discovery, doctors couldn't treat type 1 diabetes successfully. Additionally, children diagnosed with type 1 diabetes were only expected to live for a year after diagnosis. Today, people with diabetes live normal lives with regular medical intervention, and it is no longer considered a death sentence. Thank you for listening to this episode. We hope you have enjoyed and learned something new. Like, share, and subscribe to Liber-Tea for more.